Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cliff Soccer Zone. Today, we're going to talk about how, at least in my opinion, I think that Liverpool fans have every right, if they choose to banter Arsenal and to troll Arsenal, especially the Arsenal fans, especially considering how many Arsenal fans from the very early beginning of this season, before it even started, if we're going to go to the actual origin of it, and going all the way back to when Jurgen Klopp left Liverpool, you had a large majority of Arsenal fans who, and the thing is, Arsenal fans, at least weren't, in my opinion, at that time, weren't alone in this regard, in saying that after Jurgen Klopp left, that Liverpool were going to suffer for a bit. At the time, it was kind of hard to tell what exactly was going on, but I at least had known how well Arne Slot had done at Feyenoord in the Netherlands in the Eredivisie, and how, compared to, for example, the Ajaxes, the PSVs of the world as well, how much harder it was for a team like Feyenoord to win the Eredivisie than the teams like Ajax as well as PSV were, which a lot of people coming into one Slot took over, a lot of people, in my opinion, wrongfully associated Erik ten Hag, what he did at Manchester United, and a lot of people just figured, Eric, Dutch manager, coming in to manage an English team, he'll be just like Ten Hag, which was a totally incorrect thing to do, and in my opinion was the wrong way to go about this whole and analyzing what was going to happen with Liverpool. You could argue, yes, it was a little premature at the time to then say they were going to go on and win the league, but I think it was a little incorrect to just say they were going to have this massive drop-off. People were saying they might not even make Europe or qualify for the Champions League next season, which is, as I said, was a little too far, in my opinion, when analyzing that. Also, the thing was that the real eye-opener, at least for me, going into the season, I had the pleasure, thankfully, of seeing Arsenal versus Liverpool in the preseason this past summer in Philadelphia, where Liverpool beat Arsenal 2-1, which, yes, it's preseason, but you could tell, even from anyone who watched that game, could tell that this Liverpool team was going to be better than what people were saying. Yes, I will agree. Even I didn't think that they were going to necessarily win the league then, but with the conjecture that was going on about Liverpool at the time and how people were saying that they were going to not qualify for the Champions League or not even finish in Europe or qualifying in the European places, you could tell from that game and some of the other preseason games that they had that they were going to at least be better than those people's predictions. So, as I said, in my opinion, this is where a lot of this started. And as I said, Arsenal fans at this point weren't alone in that, in trying to but basically rip Liverpool and say that they weren't going to do as well and not make Europe in that regard. The thing is, where it got a little carried away, in my opinion, was as the weeks went by, where Liverpool keep winning. Liverpool win another game. Liverpool win another game. Liverpool win another game. At each of those steps, some Arsenal fans kept, and unfortunately, not just some, too many Arsenal fans, in my opinion, were doubling down on the fact that Liverpool weren't actually a good team. They kept saying, they're going to collapse, they're going to collapse, they're going to collapse. Each week they'd win. Oh, they're still going to collapse. They're still not a great team. Oh, they're going to collapse. And they kept winning. And then you had people tripling down on that and saying that, oh, they've just been getting lucky. Oh, this is just luck. After then the narrative changed. Oh, the PGMOL is gifting them the title. They're getting all of these calls that people have never seen before. And I'm going to admit, even saying this, some of the calls, I understand why some people have been saying they are soft. But the thing is that with the amount of people saying what they're saying about Liverpool and how they're getting lucky, eventually there comes to the point where if you keep doing it, it's not really luck. At least when the definition of lucky, you could say at least for an individual game. Like, for example, when I even said the Liverpool game in Paris where they were able to have a smash and grab and beat PSG 1-0 after getting dominated for most of the game, that is a different story, saying they were lucky for that game. I don't know how you can say a team got lucky for an entire season. That's where the thing that, especially with, I can understand why Liverpool fans were very angry, and once now it seemed like basically guaranteed that they're going to win the league, why they're lashing out and trolling Arsenal fans, because Arsenal fans kept insisting, oh, they're lucky, this is going to end, they're not actually a good team. And it's like, how can you keep saying that after you're seeing what you're seeing? As I said, there comes a point when if a team keeps winning, even if you think it's lucky, it's not really luck if it keeps happening every week. That's just my opinion in that regard. How can a team be lucky the entire season? So that's part of the reason. And then, as I said, you had even people who then Arsenal fans who quadrupled down by essentially the part where I think that one of the real things that got the Liverpool fans really angry, and to be honest with you, in my position, if I was a Liverpool fan, I would probably be just as angry, and I even called it out at the time. You had prominent Arsenal accounts with over 100,000 plus followers, and I'm typically not one who likes to necessarily call out and name drop people, especially on YouTube at least. Sometimes I'll do it on Twitter if I think it's necessary. But, for example, AFC Camden, he essentially criticized the fact that, we just need Mo Salah to get a hamstring injury, and then Arsenal will come back and Liverpool will collapse. Wishing injuries on anyone, in my opinion, even your most hated rivals, is completely inappropriate. And then it's the same thing that I've talked about in other videos or other things, and Terry Flewers from the Football Terrace coined the term, the football gods. When you say stuff like that, you anger the football gods. And no joke, literally the next game, or I might even been the literal next day, that AFC Camden said, we just need to pray that Mo Salah gets a hamstring injury, Bukayo Saka gets a torn hamstring. You can't make this stuff up. And then similarly, later in the year, he said said the exact same thing again. Gabriel Jesus tears his ACL. Says the same thing again, something again similar to AFC Camden, says the same thing again. Kai Havertz out for the rest of the season. So that's why I'm like, I understand the argument that, yes, another player getting injured on a team you're competing with for a trophy does help you. That's just unfortunate. That's just how it is. But wishing for another team's players to get injury just brings bad karma to your team. And you have to realize, especially considering even when he was saying this, the amount of stuff that had gone against Arsenal to that point. Why make it tempt fate and have the chance that it could happen to you increase even more by saying that, if you believe in that regard? I know, unfortunately, some of these people don't seem to think that what they say leading up to a game matters, which, based on evidence, has been proven otherwise, that unfortunately it does matter. But as I said, I completely understand, especially in that regard, why Liverpool fans have decided that, yes, they're happy that they've won, but some of them have gone full troll mode, and they deserve to, considering how much Arsenal fans were trying to discredit them from the beginning, saying that, oh, you're not even going to qualify for Europe. Oh, this train will collapse. They're not going to be able to sustain this throughout the season. Oh, and then after that was proven wrong. Oh, they're just getting lucky. Oh, the only reason why they're in the first place is because they're lucky. Oh, it's because the PGOML is gifting all of them these decisions and giving us bad decisions, which, as I've said, I'm not, this particular video is not talking about the potentially bad decisions that have gone against Arsenal, which I think some of them have. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that Liverpool have gotten lucky throughout this entire season, which I think is way too much of a thing to say. As I said, you can argue, sure, a particular game throughout the season, they can get lucky. I even said PSG versus Liverpool at the Parc des Princes, Liverpool got lucky. I'm not afraid to say that, but even saying that, some people then were like, oh, this particular game proves that Liverpool have been lucky this entire season, which, in my opinion, doesn't correlate whatsoever. But as I said, again, yes, it's unfortunate, especially as an Arsenal fan, because the quote-unquote more sensible and reasonable Arsenal fans oftentimes have to answer for the quote-unquote the delusional Arsenal fans, or the Arsenal fans that went too over the top with the Liverpool hate and insisting on the fact that Liverpool weren't actually a good team. And unfortunately, especially those people deserve in my opinion, to get bantered and trolled. As I said, that's my opinion on the situation. Unfortunately, yes, we're going to have to deal with it as Arsenal fans, but some of the Arsenal fans ruined it for the rest of us in the regard that we're going to have to answer for the AFC Camdens of the world and essentially make up for the fact that they decided, oh, I'm going to try to just discredit everything and lie about whatever I'm seeing that's right in front of my face and not give any credit when Liverpool deserve all the credit in the world with this season that they're having, especially Mo Salah having arguably one of the best seasons in Premier League history, statistics-wise. I'm not going to argue aesthetics. Yes, you may prefer a particular player based on aesthetics and how they looked on the eye, but stats-wise, Mo Salah is having one of the best seasons in Premier League history. You can't really argue that. He's on the path to breaking, unfortunately, my opinion, the Premier League GOAT's single-season assist record in Thierry Henry. It's just a matter of when Salah breaks the 20 assists in a season. Also shared with Kevin De Bruyne as well. I forgot important to mention that he shares the record with Thierry Henry. But as I said, I think that it's incredibly disingenuous and to say that Liverpool have gotten lucky this entire season, and that's why Liverpool fans are, unfortunately, in my opinion, rightfully lashing out at the Arsenal, especially at the Arsenal fans that went over the top with the Liverpool hate. But the one thing the Liverpool fans also need to realize, there are some of us who didn't do that and weren't discrediting you the whole time. So you have to remember when you say Arsenal fans, and same deal with Liverpool fans, not every fan base is a monolith and not every fan acts the same. But again, that's all we have time for today. Again, thanks for watching the video. Appreciate it if you could like, comment, or subscribe. You could also follow me on my Twitter at CliffSoccerZone. That's at CliffSoccerZone. Again, thanks for watching the video. Take care. Bye.